artists! Welcome to art class. I'm Deanna and I'm here to inspire the artist in you to come out to play. This is our second episode and I'm happy you've come back for more. I'm here with Studio Dog. He likes to hang out with me unless I'm using oil paints. Last week we talked about sketching materials and the 3 steps to quick sketching. This week we'll analyze our quick sketches and learn how to improve. Okay, that's your part. You did so good. Let's talk for a minute about talent. I said before that you're not required to have artistic talent to join us in art class. That's because talent is something that you can cultivate. You don't have to be born with it. In fact, I believe very few people in this world are born with talent. The rest of us have a heightened interest in something, and therefore we develop skills and we develop talent. Before I was in kindergarten, I already knew I was an artist. I heard my parents tell other people that I could draw well. And that may have been true, but I was also very interested in drawing, and I was also very interested in hearing people say that I could draw well. That became motivating. Just like when I give Studio Dog a reward or praise for doing something I asked him to do, he's more interested in doing it again. I became even more interested in art, more interested in praise, and I practiced more. Eventually, I no longer had the perception of how much skill I was gaining, and I just thought of that my skills were something that came naturally to me. I thought I was born talented, but really I had developed talent. That right there is important to understand. I had found a label, artist, and I stuck it on myself and I saw it as part of me, and it felt good. Humans instinctively are attracted to what feels good and repelled by what does not feel good. But negative labels can also get stuck to ourselves. Something negative that is said or done about someone's artwork can just as easily cause them to see themselves as an un-artist. Therefore, they lose their interest in art and they don't develop skills, seeing themselves as untalented. An artist is not who you are. It's a description of something that you do. So as of this moment, if you want to create art, claim the label artist and wear it with pride. And whether the art you create is thought to be good by others is not a requirement to be an artist. An important distinction is that a professional artist is someone who sells art or makes a living with their artwork. That takes more time and commitment than most people are willing to do. The vast majority of artists in this world are not professionals. Instead, they create art for joy, fun, and for a sense of accomplishment. You decide how interested you are in creating art, and you put in the time practicing and developing the skills and the talent. It's completely up to you. So what did you draw since our last class? Did you have fun? Did you keep a positive attitude, even if your sketches didn't look as good as you hoped? Did you have some soft B pencils to experiment with? Did you follow the 3 steps to creating a quick sketch? The basic shapes, the contour, and the 4 tones. Did you keep a quick pace and limit your time to just a few minutes per drawing? Quick sketching may have been easy for you, and maybe it was not. If not, you simply need more practice. There are some helpful tools we'll talk about today to deepen your practice and to get past anything that feels stuck. But first, please take off your imaginary artist hat and put on an imaginary analyst hat. It's important to analyze our work so we know exactly where we need more practice. When my friend Sophia is on the ice skating a new routine for a competition, she can step off the ice and look at a video of herself skating and instantly see what parts of the routine need more work. Then she gets back on the ice with more information about which parts to focus on and how to correct them. The same is true in art. Let's go to the drawing board and get started. Remember, you've got your analyst hat on. Let's first observe line quality. Look at your sketches and see if you can identify a certain quality of the lines that you've drawn. There is no right or wrong line quality, it's a style. Here are 4 distinct line qualities or styles: sketchy and broken, lost and found, light and consistent, bold and consistent. Sketchy and broken happens when you sort of find your way around the shape by creating multiple lines. Lost and found happens when the pressure of the graphite on the paper varies. Light and consistent is when the pencil pressure is light and it stays light throughout the sketch. Bold and consistent is the same, except the pressure is heavy, creating a darker, bolder line. Can you identify any of these styles in your drawings? Do you see more than one of these styles in your drawings? If so, can you see any progression from one style to another within one drawing session or within all the drawings that you've done in the last week? I've noticed that I tend to draw in the lost and found style. The first sketches of the day are often sketchy and broken, and sometimes I see bold and consistent before I relax into the style that comes naturally to me. This is good for me to know. I know I'm doing my best work when I'm relaxed and I'm warmed up, and I know I'm relaxed and warmed up by the qualities of the lines in my drawings. Here's an example of some cats that I drew. In the first cat, the line quality is sketchy and broken. I was not yet relaxed, and I even forgot to draw the contour. In the second cat, the line quality is less sketchy. The third cat, I was feeling more relaxed and confident, and I went right into the contour with a bold line. And by the fourth cat, I was relaxed. You can see I followed all of the steps, and the line quality is how my sketches often appear. You can see my natural style in these cows too. See how the lines become thick and thin and even disappear in some places? The lost and found style feels the most natural to me. Take time to look for line quality patterns in your sketches and see if you can identify your natural style and watch for variations of it. Of course, this is something that you would do while you've got your analyst hat on, not your artist hat. Did you draw anything more than once? I see a remarkable improvement when I repeat the same drawing for a second or even a third time. Here's an example of Studio Dog, my first sketch, and then immediately after, my second sketch. Both were completed in about the same amount of time. In the first, I felt a little awkward, and it looks a little awkward. I feel a little embarrassed for you to see this. The body is too small for this head. But by the second time, my brain had already gathered information to improve the size of the body, and also I was able to put in a lot more detail in the same amount of time. The second drawing felt much easier to draw. Practice drawing the same object more than once. Were you able to stay within the recommended time limits? If you found yourself working on the same sketch for more than 5 minutes, I recommend challenging yourself by using a timer. Don't be lazy about this. You've probably got a timer on your cell phone. If you push yourself to complete sketches in 1 minute, your drawings become exponentially better with each sketch. Use a timer until you're well practiced at sketching at a quick pace without a timer. Here's an example of a 2-minute sketch that was later followed up with a 10-minute sketch. I guarantee this 10-minute sketch would not have been as good had I not first done the 2-minute sketch. I learned a lot of visual information in those 2 minutes that I didn't have to learn again for the 10-minute sketch. I haven't yet told you to do 10-minute sketches, but you can do those also as long as you are first doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-minute sketches. Let's look at the handout again. If you don't have this handout, a link is in the show notes. The 3 steps on this handout are not the only way to draw quick sketches. However, if you follow these steps, you'll most likely find you arrive at a higher skill level more quickly than if you don't. I encourage you to stay with these 3 steps while you're mastering them. Mastering them now will give you more skills for creativity later. In the first step, were you able to see and draw the basic shapes? Remember to keep the shapes very simple. Circles, ovals, rectangles, and triangles. Not much more than that. These shapes give you an idea of proportion. these shapes also create a general roadmap for the second step. I'm going to use a photo so that we can all see the same thing. Our model today is Studio Dog, and I'm going to use a sheet of tracing paper to draw the basic shapes. Then I'll draw those shapes on paper. I'll also make this easier to do by drawing the exact same size as the photo. So I see there is a big oval right here for his body. One for his head. His nose is about here. Triangle, triangle, and maybe some ovals for his feet. That's it. Put the sheet of paper underneath it. Simple. We can do this. About the same size. Okay, use tracing paper if you need it, and draw the same size if you need that too. When you don't need those little bits of help anymore, you won't use them. In the second step, were you able to see and draw the contour? I'm convinced that the contour is the most important step in quick sketching. It conveys a lot of detail in just a few lines. It also creates a distinct character of quick sketches. Quick sketching is essentially cartooning. Cartoons have a dark line around everything. In real life, we don't have dark lines on edges of things. If I wanted my sketches to look less like cartoons, I would find other ways to show that contour line. Can you see the contour better now? Studio Dog is the positive space, and the air in the background behind him is the negative space. You can focus on drawing the outside edge of the positive space, or you can focus on drawing the inside edge of the negative space because they meet in the same place. They share the same edge. Most of us focus on the positive space as a shape, but if you shift your eyes and focus on the negative space also as a shape, you can often see exactly how to draw and correct your contour line. In future classes, we'll go into much more detail about drawing negative space because it will become essential in learning to see accurately. Remember, if you can see it, you can draw it. There's a lot of detail in just the contour alone. The outside contour by itself is often enough information to identify the image. Let's do a contour challenge to increase the perception of the details in the contour. I'm going to make a drawing of the contours of Studio Dog without looking at what I'm drawing. I'll use my sketchbook and shield my eyes with the cover. You will be able to see what I'm drawing, but I won't because I'm going to lean this way. I'm going to draw the contour without any consideration of proportion, without knowing where my pencil is on the paper, and without knowing what it looks like until I'm finished. Wow, look at all that detail in there. Do this exercise at home. It's not going to create a fabulous drawing, but it will have a profound impact on your ability to perceive contour. It's likely that you'll exaggerate your contours and things will look really wonky. That's just fine. We're practicing our ability to see the details in the contour. Let's go back to our drawing again and draw the contour. Watch what happens and see if you recognize if this has happened to you too. I'm just going to choose a random spot and start there. There, it happened right there. So here was my initial sketch shape that I put to plot the proportion. And when I started drawing that part, I could see that this line was just in the wrong place. But when I was drawing the contour, I could fix it easily. I could see where it was supposed to be, and so I fixed it. This is another reason why I feel that this step is the most important step. Not only does the contour capture the unique and detailed outer edge, but it can also catch and correct proportion issues. Our final step to quick sketching. Were you able to look at colored images and convert them down to just 4 tones? If you can, print a photograph in grayscale. You may be able to see these tones a lot easier. Also, always start with the darkest darks first. Then do the mediums, and then use your blending tool to create the lights. I have noticed that I often feel that my sketches are just crappy, right up until the very last step where I use the stump to smear in the lightest tones, and then all of a sudden the sketch seems to come to life.
Be sure to stay with the process because sometimes the rewards don't happen until the very end.
Before we end class today, let's talk about the chatter in our brains. Have you noticed that the thoughts in your head can sometimes be really mean? I'm going to show you a video of what it's like in my brain while I'm drawing.
Okay, let's see. I think I'm maybe sort of got this right. Oh, well, no, actually that's not right at all. Oh, this looks like poo. Okay, well, maybe it's okay. It's looking better now. Oh my gosh, and I'm supposed to be the teacher? Okay, let's just scroll this in. Oh, this looks bad. Uh-oh, I think I need to start over. Okay, well, I'm almost done. Let's just keep going. All right, hey, this is looking pretty good. Okay, not bad. Not my best, not bad.
How can I ever get anything done with such critical voices? Well, I simply learned to ignore them and to not take them seriously. It's part of the creative process. Keep drawing, keep practicing, further. Some of the negativity our brains say may be true, but some of it is just noise causing confusion. When it's time to take off the artist hat and put on the analyst hat, we can listen to those thoughts objectively, but don't listen to them when you've got your artist hat on. Stay positive and stay committed to the process. Remember to analyze the line qualities or styles of your sketches. Use tracing paper for the basic shapes if you need it. Do the contour line challenge. And ignore the chatter in your head. Put your artist hat back on now and create more sketches. I've put a photo of Studio Dog in the show notes in case you'd like to practice with that same image. And I encourage you to find your own images too. Next week we're going to explore more quick sketching, but with a twist. Up until now we've been working on white paper and adding graphite to make darker tones. Next week I'm going to show you how to start with dark tones and bring out the lights. It's a fun technique that I think you'll enjoy. We will be using the other drawing materials on the list I gave you last week. Please reach out and stay in contact with me. Post questions, comments, and suggestions below. Tell me which line quality style you see in your sketches, and please share any aha moments that you may have experienced. I would love to see what you've sketched and the progress that you're making. Follow me on Facebook and Instagram, where you can post your own images for feedback. Links and instructions are in the show notes. Please only post G-rated images. I'm really excited to see what you've created. If you liked today's class, please click on the thumbs up on this video. I invite you to be an official student in this class by clicking the red subscribe button. You'll be able to find class easily in your subscription folder. I'm Deanna. Have fun quick sketching. See you next week in art class.